Hey everybody, we're going to do another portrait from photo reference, this time with charcoal using additive and subtractive drawing techniques. The first thing I'm going to do is tone my whole page. This will allow me to draw subtractively with my eraser and additively with more charcoal. I'm using this reference photo of my sister. I told her to show me how she was feeling on a quarantined day. First thing I'm going to do is draw in the proportions of the face, line of symmetry, the eye line, the bottom of the nose, the middle of the lips, get those all in their right respective places while using my reference photo to see if any changes need to be made or any slight shifts need to be made. Once I get some of those filled in, I start working on the contours of the face itself because I have a little bit more of a reference point for where the edges of the head should go. Once I have the features of the face approximately in the right places, I'm going in with my charcoal and I'm gonna start adding some of the darker values. As the drawing develops, I'll keep going back and tweaking things like the eyes. If I see they need to be shifted just a little bit, I allow myself to make those changes. As I'm adding these darker values in, I'm thinking about the value in shapes. So I'm kind of blocking in big shapes of dark value, and I know I'll be able to get more sensitive with my gradients and the value shifts later on in the drawing. Now I'm just really thinking generally and working from my reference photo to try to get that likeness down before I come in and start bringing in some of those highlights. Now I'm taking out my kneaded eraser and I'm going to start looking for those big shapes of light. And this is really going to help bring out the form of the face itself. So this is where those shadows are going to really start working for me, and because they're going to contrast with the highlights and the face is going to start kind of emerging from the page. So it's really fun to use that kneaded eraser, and I go back to it from time to time. Now I'm working interchangeably, subtractively, and additively, um, continuing to enhance that contrast, increase that contrast. And this is when my shoulder gets in the way of a good chunk of the drawing. My bad. So what's fantastic about charcoal is it stays malleable. So I've laid down this groundwork of blocking in big shapes of light and dark, but now I can take either a smudge stick or my finger and kind of blend things in, making wider gradients of value, and also changing things as needed to get all of those value relationships feeling just right. Towards the end of the drawing, I'll continue to use my kneaded eraser. The great thing about the kneaded eraser is you can really shape it into uh, little small points to get in details and draw subtractively with a pretty fine point. So I'm going back into areas like the lips and things like that, and just pulling things away. Just like charcoal, your eraser should be used considering the amount of pressure that you're laying down. So you can work really sensitively and get very subtle gradations with that kneaded eraser itself. Thanks so much for watching. Try this. I know it's really hard. You guys can do it. Give me a shout if you have any questions.